Certain characters in The Mandalorian were either killed off too soon or became irrelevant to the plot just as things were getting good. A character might get written out if their character dies, for example, which prevents the show from getting too cluttered, or a character might simply vanish into the background because their arc is over. This is always done for a good reason, but even so, some characters could have stuck around a little longer because they were fan favorites, or they could have had a deeper character arc before getting written out. Number 1 is Keel. Keel was an Ugnaught alien who appeared early in The Mandalorian as a gruff but smart ally of Din's, who later thanked Din for returning peace to the valley he lived in. Keel also helped Din recover the stolen parts of the Razor Crest and fixed up that ship, but Keel didn't last much longer after that. During a battle over control of Grogu, Keel rode atop a native animal to get Grogu back to the ship, but he was too late. He was killed by scout troopers, and later, Din buried the fallen Keel and clearly marked his grave, including Keel's goggles on display. Number 2 is Boba Fett. The famed bounty hunter named Boba Fett appeared a few times in The Mandalorian, such as when he and Fennec Shand helped Din fight off Moff Gideon's forces on Tython. Not long after that, Boba was written out of The Mandalorian so he could be star in the book of Boba Fett. Arguably, book wasn't nearly as good as The Mandalorian, so it may have been better to keep Boba Fett in Mandalorian instead. He's not a true Mandalorian, but for the right price, he could have helped Din Djarin in battle once again in true style. Number 3 is Fennec Shand. The sly rogue Fennec Shand was introduced in The Mandalorian as a minor antagonist, one whom Din Djarin narrowly defeated despite Fennec having a sniper rifle. Fennec was captured and might have died of exposure, but then Boba Fett showed up and recruited her. Fennec exited The Mandalorian to be a co-star in the book of Boba Fett, but like Boba himself, Fennec would have been more exciting as a longer-term support character in Mandalorian instead. Now fans will never know what Fennec could have done to help Din in the battle for Mandalore. Number 4 is Gorion Shard. Green pirate Gorion Shard was mentioned a few times in The Mandalorian, and then his men muscled in on the planet Navarro and pushed the locals around. Once Greef and Din fought back, an enraged Gorion arrived to attack Navarro in retaliation. Gorion had a formidable cruiser on his side, but Din and Bo-Katan rallied the Mandalorians to defeat Gorion Shard once and for all in an aerial battle. Gorion was killed, which robbed the Mandalorian of a chance to develop his character beyond being a thuggish antagonist with a cool ship. Number 5 is Luke Skywalker. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker made a heroic appearance in The Mandalorian Season 2, saving Din's crew from the Dark Troopers aboard Gideon's ship. Then, Luke trained Grogu in the ways of the Force, and with that, Luke exited The Mandalorian, his job complete. Luke is certainly still out there, but even if he has thick plot armor, he doesn't seem likely to return in The Mandalorian. Fans urgently want to see more of Luke Skywalker in his prime, but it may be difficult for the show to find a plausible reason to bring him back for another story arc. Thanks for watching the video. Do like and subscribe.